We often see the fantastic portrayals of Western heroes and rulers, like Achilles in Troy or Alexander of Macedon. And while the global black community doesn't have the same large resources as Hollywood, I wanted to paint a picture of King Izana of Aksum using his own words and other resources. Before we begin, the primary source that I will be using for this video will be the inscriptions left on the Izana stone about the military expeditions. With that being said, however, an overview of the nation of Aksum will be necessary to highlight the legacy of King Izana. According to scholars, the Aksumite Kingdom began around 100 BCE and ended in 940 CE, stretching throughout the highlands of Eritrea and Ethiopia. Its capital, Aksum, being situated in the Tigray region of northern Ethiopia. Consisting of multiple provinces and vassals, the kingdom had important cities within its authority, such as Kohaito, Matara, and Adulis. These three cities are now in the highlands and lowlands of Eritrea, with Adulis being the most important of them, serving as the seaport of the empire, connecting the Aksumites with Roman provinces, India, and the Arabian Peninsula for trading purposes, exporting ivory, frankincense, and gold, while importing silk, cotton, and wine, making the realm very wealthy. Now that we have a basic idea of this classical empire, King Izana was born in the early 300s, gaining the throne after the death of his father, but being too young to rule, his mother Sophia became his regent, and being a young child, he was mentored by two former servants of his father, the Greek-speaking Frumentius and Edesius, hailing from Syrian Rome, two important persons that influenced him to become a Christian in later years. With the inheritance of this kingdom and empire, Izana became the Negusa Nagast, King of Kings, or Emperor, King of Aksum and of Himyar, and of Redan and of Ethiopia, and of Saba and of Salhen, and of Sianyo and of Beja, and of Kasu, son of the invincible Mahrem, which was the pre-Christian god of Aksum, all royal titles that were passed down to him from his predecessors. Despite this, the Negusa Nagas had to fight his way into solidifying his empire, as noted in his victory stela, the Izana stone, written in Koine Greek, the international language of the time, as well as in Ge'ez, the ancient script and language of the Aksumites, letting everyone know not to mess around with his authority, as we can see from his battle proclamation against the Beja peoples in the north. As the peoples of Beja had rebelled, we sent our brothers, Seizana and Hadifan, to make war on them. And having laid down their arms, our brothers subdued them and brought them to us, with their camp followers and 3,112 cattle and 6,224 sheep and pack animals, giving them sufficient cattle and grain to eat, and beer and wine and water to drink, according to their number. They received each day 22,000 wheaten cakes and wine for 4 months. While they were bringing them to us, these we allowed, having provided them with all kinds of food, and giving them clothes to depart, and they settled in a district belonging to our realm, which is called Matlia. And we commanded again that food should be given to them, and we granted to the 6 kings 24,140 cattle, and to obtain the favor of my father, the invincible Mahrem, I have set up to him 1 statue of gold, 1 in silver, and 3 in copper, for good. As we can see, the king could be militarily vicious and also kind of heart, as he would treat his defeated enemies humanely, giving them provisions and resettling them within his direct rule, perhaps because of the harsh conditions in their native area, or to reduce the rebellious nature of the Beja. But honestly, that's not something that we can know for sure. Also, like his predecessors, King Izana used currency in his empire, coins made of silver, bronze, and gold, with inscriptions like Man of Halen, King of the Aksumites. These coins were indigenous in design and creation, bearing inscriptions in both Ge'ez and Greek, serving the goal of demonstrating the kingdom's wealth. And considering that the Aksumite Empire traded with India, Persia, and Roman Egypt using the Nile River, the Red Sea, and inland routes, we can easily see that Aksum had a strong economy, attracting Greek and Latin speaking Christian merchants, according to the early source, Periplus of the Eritrean Sea. It is to be noted, however, that even before the foreign communities in Aksum, that it was already a multi-ethnic African state, as described by the early Adulis inscription. Having all of the responsibility, King Izana had to do several military campaigns to protect the nation's economy and borders, such as the campaign against the Sarani. Izana, the son of Elamida, of the family of Halen, king of Aksum and of Himyar, and of Raidan and of Saba, and of Salhen and of Siano, and of Beja and of Kasu, the son of Maram, who cannot be conquered by the enemy. He made war on the Sarane, whose kingdom is Afan. And after they had fought against us and killed a merchant caravan, we sent armies, the army of Mahaza, and the army of the Kuin, and the army of Hara. And then we ourselves followed, and we encamped at the place where the troops were assembled in Alaha. And we made our soldiers set out from there, and they killed and made prisoners and despoiled them. And we attacked Sane and Sawante, and Gama and Zatan, 4 peoples. We took prisoner Alita with his 2 children, and a slaughter took place of the men of Afan, 503 men and 202 women, in all 705 people. Of his camp followers, there were taken prisoners 40 men and 165 women and children. As spoil, we were carried off 31,957 cattle and 827 baggage animals. And the king returned in safety together with his people, and he set up a throne in Shadow and committed himself to the protection of Astar and Behir and Medir. If there be anyone who would overthrow him and remove him, that person and his land and his family shall be overthrown and removed, and he shall be rooted out of this country. And the king offered as a thanks offering to Maram, who had begotten him, 100 cattle and 50 prisoners. Both of these campaigns were before his conversion by Frumentius, as noted by his mention of the pre-Christian god named Maram. King Izana eventually declared his country to be a Christian state around 330 CE, having been encouraged by his mentor, showing his kind spirit once again through prayer stating, "I will rule the people with righteousness and justice, I will not oppress them," proving his worth of the sword and the crown before he died, reinforcing the point as some traditions state he was killed in battle in western Ethiopia and his body was brought to eastern Tigray, ending the story of Negusa Nagast Izana of Aksum. Guys, if you love this video, smash the like button and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you learned something new about King Izana. So again, in conclusion, it's time to remember what we have forgotten.